That's all. Nobody else is here. No testifiers.
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, great.
Will the council's, Maui County Council's public hearing please come to order? It is March 28th, 2025, and approximately 5:07 p.m. The public hearing on Bill 3 FD1 2025 is to ratify Ordinance 5702 2024, amending the Lanai Community Plan for 268.349 acres located in Lanai City will now come to order. Ms. Clerk, please proceed with roll call.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Proceeding with roll call. Members
Chair, council members, community members, there's plenty of testifiers at the Lanai District Office, and we're all here ready to work.
Councilmember Keanu Rollins Fernandez.
Aloha awina la kako, Lanai. There are currently no testifiers at the Molokai District Office, and I am at the district office with Member Gabe Johnson.
Councilmember Tom Cook.
Aloha, good afternoon all. I am at district office in Lanai with Member Johnson and Member Rollins Fernandez and a bunch of Lanai residents to get to visit with. So, and there's nobody at the Kihei district office presently to testify.
Oh, and there's no one at the Molokai District Office. Did I say that? I can't remember.
Thank you, council members. Councilmember Nohilani U'uhajens.
Excused.
Thank you. Councilmember Shane Sinensi.
Excused.
I'm here, Chair. Aloha.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Aloha kako, my Maui Hikina. O'olila po'alima. I'm here at my home in Hana. I'm here by myself, and there are no testifiers in the Hana office, Chair. Hello, everyone.
And Council Chair Alice Lee.
Aloha Friday, everyone. I'm here in my workspace at home and looking forward to this wonderful meeting. Missing all the people on Lanai.
Chair, there are 8 members present, 1 member excused. A quorum is present to conduct the business of the council. For the record, I'm Deputy County Clerk Rochelle Thompson, and with me is County Clerk Moana Ludi, and also present from the Legislative Division staff are Joyce Murashige, Lauren Saldana, Del Yoshida, and Arthur Suyama. Joining the meeting from the Office of Council Services is Director David Ratz, and we have Deputy Corporation Counsel Mike Hopper on the line. We also wanted to say a very special mahalo to the Lanai District Office staff, Roxanne Morita, as well as the staff from Councilmember Gabe Johnson's office, most especially Kate Griffiths.
All right. As a reminder, Bill 23 CD1 2024 went through a thorough vetting with the Lanai Planning Commission and 2 readings at council before going into effect. Today we are here to comply with the county charter, which required a public hearing prior to the community plan amendment going into effect. No action will be taken today. Before we proceed with a public hearing, may I please request that everyone keep their microphones muted unless it's your turn to speak. Before we proceed with today's public hearing, may I please request that everyone keep their microphones muted unless it's your time to speak. Didn't I just say that? I love these double lines. As a reminder, testimony must pertain to items on the agenda. When testifying, please direct your remarks to the council and not to any individual council member or member of the public. Each testifier will be allowed to speak for up to 3 minutes on each item. And today we just have 1 item. For individuals wishing to testify on Teams, please click the raise your hand button to be added to the testifier log. If you're calling in, please follow the phone prompts and to be added to the log. The quorum shall be maintained at all times. Any person who behaves in a manner that disrupts, disturbs, or impedes the orderly conduct of this council meeting can, at the discretion of the presiding officer or of a majority present council members, be ejected or banned from council meetings, or if participating remotely, muted or dropped from the meeting. Examples of disruptive behavior include, but are not limited to, heckling, shouting, use of profanity, threatening, or slanderous remarks made to any member of the council, staff, or general public. Ms. Clerk, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty, I believe, at the Lanai District Office for the testifiers, although I see Member Rollins Fernandez's hand is up. So we were going to start with someone online.
All right, proceed.
Chair, the first testifier would be Simeona, to be followed by, hopefully, Alberta DeJetley.
Hello?
Simeona, this is your opportunity to testify.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I apologize. The majority of my testimony will be in English, but there are a few things that I want to say that I don't know quite how to say in English. So I want to open with my testimony with the language of the place. There's a mele famous on Lanai, and it begins like this. Ko'ele i kalai, o ka ua li'i o ike. O ike makawao i ko nani, o ko maumaka o nauna i ka uka iu, o ko leo i ka makani a ke aloha. Ko'ele, in the fine drizzling rain, I have seen with my own eyes your beauty. I have heard your voice in the uplands, carried by the wind of aloha in the sacred place above. And I just wanted to thank you guys for this chance to testify and to mahalo you and to entreat that you please value and care and bear the weight of what's going to be spoken tonight. I do believe that public testimony is at the heart of our governing process, and that the voice of the people is the most important to be heard first. So I'm hoping that this is not just a formality that we're doing to check off a box, but that you really consider everything that's being said and that was written and turned in tonight. I'm on a trip. I'm not on Lanai right now. I'm on a trip. I'm taking a group of Kaipuni children to see different places on Maui. And every place that we go, we sing this mele. And today we had a beautiful day where two Makua also danced the huma of this mele as our kids shared this song. The sad part about, for me, it was a beautiful moment, but the sad part about this is that many of my kids, as they're singing this song, have not seen with their own eyes the fine drizzling rain and the beauty of Ko'ele, nor have they heard the voice, that voice that's spoken of in the mele, carried by that Ko'ele wind, the darkness born in the mist. Because the way that Ko'ele is situated now is an exclusive place, and the place where, the direct place where we used to gather as a community, it's now, children aren't allowed there, it's for adults. And it concerns me that there is a trend happening across the way, but also on Lanai, that is excluding our people from visiting and interacting and building a relationship with these special places, places that are very dear to our heart. This is probably the second most famous mele about Lanai that we all know and we sing. I just...
It's 3 minutes.
To close, mahalo. To close, please allow us to continue our relationship with Ko'ele. Mahalo.
Thank you. Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Simeona. I had a question if you're available. I just had a couple clarification points, if it's okay. The first one, when you said that you hope this isn't checking a box, to clarify it, the vote was already taken and a step was skipped of the public hearing. So I just wanted to clarify, in what you said, how would we not just check a box? Is it that you're saying, revote?
Yes, I would encourage that. I would hope that the vote takes into consideration the community's, it represents what is in the community's best interest. And personally, I feel that it's not possible to do that unless the community's voice is heard.
Thank you for that. I had one other clarification. When you said that, Ko'ele is a storied place as shown in the song, and that members of the community cannot go there anymore, I wasn't clear what you were asking us to do about it.
That's a much deeper question, and I think it would involve a deeper understanding of how the zoning and the laws and all of that work. But as our community leaders, I would ask that you please do everything in your power to think about how each of these changes, these zoning changes, includes or excludes people of Lanai from freely accessing these places and interacting with these places. And if it means constructing a private retreat in place of what is right now a publicly accessible community, it was intended to be used as an educational place for the community. If we're changing that, then that means that our community can't even access that place and have education there. And so it's taking away yet another means of us building relationship with that place. So if changing the zoning means that we can no longer be having community events where we're educated at the Richardson's home, for example, then I would ku'e against that. I would oppose such a decision.
So just to clarify, you're asking in the revote for it to be a no.
Yes, for it to be a no.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, we're on the ratification of something that we already passed. However, we need 2 readings on the ratification. So we passed this on first reading, and we have this public hearing now, and then afterwards we have to schedule a second reading. So this is not your last time to speak on this subject. Okay, just for your information. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, Member Rollins Fernandez had her hand up.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Chair, can you enable the mic for South Maui EA? If staff could please enable the mic for South Maui EA, the participant. Okay.
Ms. Clerk, could you handle that, please?
Yeah, Chair, we have that on.
Okay.
It's echoing because Member Cook's mic
How about
is
now?
on.
Good. All right. All right.
Are we ready for the next testifier?
Chair, I have a question for, I'm sorry, I didn't see Simon Simeona.
Aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo for your testimony. In the beginning of your testimony, you asked for this to not be just an exercise of checking the box. So the bill before you, Bill 3 FD1 2025, is a bill for an ordinance to ratify a vote that we already took, which means that we would be reaffirming what the majority voted to amend the community plan, Lanai's community plan. And so just to clarify, are you saying that you oppose Bill 3 FD1, which is what's on the agenda today?
Yes, I oppose. Cool.
Mahalo for that clarification, and mahalo again for your testimony. Chair, I was raising my hand earlier so that I could request the clerks read Section 1 and Section 2 of the bill before us and answer the question of what happens if this bill does not pass.
Chair, you
We
muted.
can't hear you.
We're in the testimony portion of the meeting, so the people are waiting to testify. I think we need to give them that opportunity to testify.
Correct. I raised my hand earlier and you didn't let me speak. And there's technical issues. I am here in person with the Lanai community. And I think it's important for everyone to understand the procedure because this is not normal. And we made a procedural error. And that should be explained clearly as the council made a procedural error, which is why we're having a public hearing after the fact, after a bill already became law and now is waiting on a vote to reaffirm what we already voted on.
I have no problem, members, with the county clerk explaining that, which we would ordinarily do later. But anyway, and by the way, Member Rollins, I didn't see you raising your hand. Okay, so.
Oh, Deputy Clerk Rochelle Thompson recognized that I had my hand raised and I was unable to mute my computer. I was trying to unmute Member Cook's computer. So it's just, I am not in my home space. So I would really appreciate a little bit of flexibility.
So members, since this is a public hearing and we're not going to have further discussion, we'll ask the clerk to explain the process today and explain the reason for this public hearing and that this is a public hearing that's required in order to proceed with the process, which then would involve second reading of this matter at a later date. So not Vice Chair, but Ms. Clerk, could you explain again once more why we are here today and the significance of this public hearing?
Madam Chair, OCS Director David Rotz is on the meeting, and that is a legal question, so it should be answered by your legal staff. Deputy Michael Hopper is also on the line.
And if Director could also explain what would happen if Bill 3 doesn't pass.
Okay, we're going to try and give an explanation, but we're not going to delve into this matter deeply because this is a public hearing and the purpose of a public hearing is to hear the public. So we're asking them to please be patient with us because I'm sure they all signed up ready to testify. And now we're stopping that process to give further explanation. So David, are you on the line, David Rotz?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Chair. Again, this is David Rotz with the Office of Council Services. I appreciate the council member's understandable question, but I think you've explained, Chair, that we are in testimony at a public hearing. It's really a one-way street right now where we're asking members of the public to respond to what was posted on the meeting agenda or the public hearing agenda in this case. And I don't think it'd be appropriate to get into substantive discussion on the measure at this point. I'd be happy to do so at second reading. Again, I think it's a valid question, but our purpose, the council's purpose for this public hearing is to let the public respond to what's on the agenda. If they think anything is unclear, that could be part of the testimony. Thank you, Chair.
Members, any questions? Okay. A compromise would be, Ms. Clerk, to just reread the explanation for the purpose of this public hearing.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose of this public hearing is to hear the public's testimony on Bill number 3, FD1 2025, which is an ordinance that is designed to ratify ordinance number 5702 2024, which is amending the Lanai Community Plan for 268.349 acres located in Lanai City.
Okay. Now let's proceed with the public, with the testimony, please.
Thank you, Chair. The next testifier is Alberta DeJetley, and she will be followed by Diane Preza.
Repeat.
Oh,
Oh, I see her.
Yes.
Oh, she needs to be muted. Unmuted.
They're unmuting now.
It still shows her as muted.
They're working on it.
Is she sitting right next to you? Member Rollins Fernandez?
See me on the screen?
Go ahead, you can speak now.
Aloha. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. My name is Alberta DeJetley, and my family moved here in 1951 when I was 6 years old. When I was 7 years old, our family moved to Ko'ele, where we lived until my father was the game warden. He retired and they moved to their own home in Lanai City. I feel that my family represents the last children that actually grew up in Ko'ele. And I hope you can see this picture that I'm holding. This is the house that may be moved. This is the house that I grew up in. This house has always been filled with children. This is the Forbes family. They lived here during the time when after Charles Gay. But this house has always been a family house. What my main concern now is there seems to be a move to move the two Richardson houses across the street to the stables. Can you see this house that I'm holding?
Yes.
This was the original Richardson house. This is a beautiful house, and it was scheduled to be demolished when the lodge is being built. At the 11th hour, like about an hour before this house was to be torn down, my sister Mina Morita was able to get a stay, and this house was moved to where Hokuau is now, where it sat on oil blocks, on oil drums, until it fell apart.
We can't hear you now.
I'm sorry. I'm watching Akaku, and what she's showing is not showing on the TV. Come on this one.
So where can I show it? But I can't see it. I can't see if, do you see this?
No.
It's there now.
This is what Akaku is showing right now.
Okay, but can they see what's on that other
Yes,
screen now?
yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, so this house, there was a stay on it, and it was moved until it sat in the bushes and totally deteriorated and fell apart. I don't want to see the Koeli, the two houses at Koeli, which are now being referred to the Richardson's house, as ending up as a pile of rubble. Koeli has always been a place where children were welcome. If you listen very carefully at the still of the evening, you can actually hear children playing. Can you see this picture?
Yes.
This is my Uncle Ernest, and my Uncle Ernest and my Auntie Becca welcomed children through their entire lives. They babysat hundreds of Lanai keiki and welcomed us at Koeli. Now at Koeli, at the Sensei, there's no name that says Koeli. All of the history of Koeli is being erased. I want to ensure that the two houses become a place where Lanai children and other children from all over Hawaii can come to Lanai and experience the magic of Koeli. Back when Kurt was...
Can you conclude your testimony, Alberta, please?
Back in the day when Kurt Matsumoto was the general manager of the lodge at Koeli, I had a group of 5 boys from Hana who came to visit. And we met up with Kurt, and Kurt showed them around the grounds, and he took the time to walk them around. And they were just spellbound by the beauty of Koeli. And after they were through, they said, wow, I want to be like Mr. Matsumoto. So let's try to make Koeli stay that where the Richardson's house are, if we can keep that in their present location and make it a cultural resource that other people and young children from all over Hawaii can come to Lanai and enjoy. Thank you so much for letting me testify.
Thank you. Any clarifying questions, members? Member Paulton?
I just wanted to clarify. So, what you're asking is a no vote on second reading?
I'm not sure of what the procedural thing is, but I do know there's talk of moving those two houses to another location. I believe that they should stay where they are because they've already been moved once.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Any
Chair.
more? Yeah. Any more questions? If not, thank you. May we have the next testifier?
Chair, the next testifier is Diane Preza, to be followed by Roger Alcancel.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, this one. Okay, is that okay? Aloha, I'm Diane Preza. I'm born and raised on Lanai. I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify. And I appreciate the council people that have come here to Lanai. Much appreciated. So, I do feel that right now, I oppose Bill 3 because, well, for a few reasons, but let me preface that by saying that Pulama Lanai does many wonderful things for this community, more than people know, I think. And the leadership at Pulama, they truly care about this community. They really do. Just so you can understand that they take care of this community, and we would not be the way we cannot enjoy the benefits of this place without them. And so I just wanted to say that. And there are many parts of the community plan amendment that are very reasonable, and I like, they're wanting to give up entitlements and clean up the maps, and so it's not bad. But I am like Alberta was saying, I have concern about that, the 11.5 acres. I do feel that, thinking about my family that were raised over there and the memories that I also have of Ko'ele, they're so enduring, and I don't want the children to not have that opportunity that we had when we were little growing up. So it concerns me, but I understand that what Pulama, what they're they're trying to help with the economy on this island, and they're trying to make us have a better life. So I appreciate it. I'm grateful for that. But right now, I'm so sorry. I cannot support this bill. And I'm so sorry this is so late in this kind of testimony. I've testified once before about this. Let's see. So I'm hoping that the applicant, can dig deeply in their hearts and try to find some kind of compromise to work together with the community so we can feel welcome at Ko'ele and the hotel can do well so we can be happy. So I'm hoping for some kind of compromise. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, do you have any questions? Member Paulton?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Perez, for your testimony. I just wanted to clarify in terms of compromise, like all the rest of the changes, and just amend out that, is it in the bill that they're moving the house?
No, but there are moving over 11.5 acres. Yeah, they could allow it, I think. But as far as the other parts of the bill, when it was Bill 23, I think they were very reasonable, and I really liked it. And it's just, I was hoping maybe
like maybe put a condition on it that don't move the houses or something.
Not sure about that, but that would probably be because I think it's not just the homes, but it's the context of the place that they live. So all the intangibles that, the value of the place, what people learned there, the stories, the experiences that people had there. I mean, we used to have rodeo over there. Yeah. It was really a hub of the community, and people felt welcome. So I was just hoping that could be brought back.
Okay, I think I got it. Thank you.
Member
Mr. President,
Cook.
thank you, Chair.
Member Cook?
Thank you. I didn't catch your last name.
Reza.
Chris. My clarifying question, did you give testimony at the planning commission meetings that they have
I did not.
previously or the other times?
I gave it at the first reading. I did give testimony.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Members? I don't see any hands. Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much. May we have the next testifier?
The next testifier is Roger Alcancel, to be followed by Melvin Catiel.
Hello.
Hi, Roger Alcancel, born and raised on Lanai. And I want to talk about the moving of the Richardson House. I think the Richardson House, I don't have history with the Richardson House, but I think it's very important for everybody here in Lanai. I think they use that home and they have a lot of history. Because the Lanai people care about the house, that's why I'm saying this, actually. I think I'm in favor of moving the house. And the reason why I say that is because I'm hoping that we can preserve the house. Because I lived on the Big Island, I lived in Montana, and we have a lot of historic places. What tends to happen was they would develop in front of these historical places, and over time, it comes out of sight, out of mind, then it gets neglected. And then over time, over years, it gets neglected, and then it's soon forgotten because we don't see it. And with the current place for Richardson House, I suspect the landowner may build more houses, hotel or whatever, swimming pool, I don't know, right? And then we will soon forget the value of the Richardson House because we don't see it. What I think, and I feel, because it's important for the Richardson House, is we move it, make it a museum where everybody can see and everybody can know the history. I think if we leave it there and there's development around it, everybody will soon forget and the house will be run down because no one's gonna take care of it. I don't know. But that's my concern. Because I think everybody in this room, that house is very important. I more value the fact that keeping that house and the historical importance of the house, and by moving it where everybody can see and everybody can police it to make sure it maintains. So I fear that if we don't move it or whatever, I mean, if it stays the same, sight unseen, everybody forget, I may be long gone, my kids may be long gone, they may not know, and then all of a sudden it gets forgotten. I just don't want to forget it. I guess that's what I'm saying. And if it's out of sight, out of mind, people will forget. That's all. And out of sight, out of mind, meaning they're going to build stuff, I suspect, in front of it, and nobody can see it. That's all. That's why I'm in favor of moving it where everybody can see it and cherish it.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Member Paulton?
Thank you, Chair. I guess, I mean, so I just wanted to clarify, were there songs written about the house?
Oh, I don't know, but I know it's important for the people in this room tonight to protect the house, and that's what I want to continue. I fear that if we don't move it personally, we're going to all forget about it. We're going to get a nice hotel, nice swimming pool, I don't know, maybe a big statue in front, and then we're going to forget that the house is in the back and it get neglected. I don't know. But that's what I fear. That's why I better move it where everybody can see it and everybody can police it and enjoy it. That's all.
I thought,
because I think it's important for everybody in this room.
Okay, thank you. I thought the song was about the place, but
oh no, I'm not a singer.
It's not about the house.
Yeah, I think it's important for everybody here, and that's all.
Okay, any more questions, members? Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo for your testimony. I wanted to clarify. So the reason that it could be forgotten and things could be built in front of it is because the proposal is to block access, like the first testifier was telling.
I don't know, but I know it's a private property in front. So it's like me buying one house. I have my property, and then whoever in front, I have a nice ocean view, and then the person gonna build one 2-story home in front of me, and I lost the view. That's all. Because I don't have control what's in front of it. And I forget that, because everybody drive by, they can see the house, and it's perfect. But I cannot control what's gonna be built or whatever. And I imagine that in 10 years we'll get houses or whatever, statue, whatever, because I'm assuming Kuala gonna expand, or something will expand, and then the house gonna be forgotten. And then who's gonna be the one policing to maintain it? Because I would see it. I wanted to make, it's important for everybody, but if it's out of sight, out of mind, how are we truly going to maintain that 10, 20 years from now? When I see one big statue, one swimming pool, one house, I don't know. But what if in front of it? Not everything is not developed in front, and we can see it by all means. But I think because it's a private land, or I believe they can build whatever in front, that's my fear, that it's better to move it where everybody can see it and protect it and share it with the kids and whatever. Because if not, it's going to be hidden, I think. And nobody will know the significance.
So see it and access it.
Yeah.
Okay, mahalo for clarification.
Any more comments or questions? Questions, actually. Mr. Cook. Member Cook.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you been in the house? Like,
No.
No kind of condition it's in?
No, it's just because I know it's important for a lot of people on Lanai. I wanna, because I've been there, I lived in Montana, we had homestead homes I was trying to protect. And then you have a California developer all of a sudden build something in front of the homestead home. And then because nobody see, that's all.
Thanks. I'm just curious because I believe it's been moved twice before.
I don't know, but
And-
because I see all my friends and family here, I want to protect them interests, because I cannot control what's built in front.
Right.
And I want that to be here 10, 20 years for their kids or what have you, because that's just my.
Thanks. I hear where you're coming from. I'm just as a builder, and buildings and whether you can move them, what you got to do to preserve them.
Yeah.
Buildings do have life expectancy, aspects of them. So I hear you. I hear everybody's concern. I'm just like trying to put it into perspective, the function of the building now, the condition of the building now.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be forgotten.
Feasibility.
This is my thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's stay with clarifying what the testifier said, okay? Did anybody else have a question? If not, may we have the next testifier?
Chair, the next testifier is Keala Kaupuiki Santos, to be followed by Janona Alcancel.
Aloha, council members, and so many of my beautiful Lanai Ohana. My name is Keala Kaupuiki Santos. Our Kaupuiki Ohana has lived on Lanai for generations, initially living on the north side at Kilmoku, and then moving up to Lanai City, with majority of my grandfather's 14 brothers and sisters having lived or worked at Ko'ele Ranch with their eldest sister, Rebecca, and her husband, Ernest Richardson. They, to me, have always been the epitome of Paniolo, and their home at Ko'ele, known as the ranch, was a gathering place for Ohana, extended family, and so much of the community. Over my 45 years of life, we've witnessed Lanai change from plantation to tourism to now what's become a playground for the ultra-rich. There are very few remnants left of ranching life on Lanai, with two of the final reminders being the hale that are there at Ko'ele. I would urge the council to not change the zoning and urge the landowner to please consider keeping the houses where they're at, possibly converting the homes to a museum to preserve the ranching history at Ko'ele, and just allowing these historical pieces of Lanai to remain for the kupuna that have lived there their whole life, for the generations coming up to better understand the history of the island, and for visitors and newcomers to the island to also learn and appreciate it. Because more and more, as we lose these historical sites, we lose the stories and the connections along with them. To answer the question that Councilmember Paulton raised, I ask that you please re-vote because a vote was taken without public testimony. And if I could make a suggestion for the space, I would ask that you preserve the existing homes and possibly create a pavilion for the public to freely gather like there used to be where Four Seasons Sensei stands now. Mahalo for your time. I'm happy to take questions. Aloha.
Are there any questions, members? Member Cook.
Thank you. For my clarifying question, regarding the idea about public testimony, did you participate in the previous planning commission meetings that they had? I think there were 3.
No, I wasn't aware of those meetings. I only became aware of this one. Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't aware of those meetings.
We turn back on.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more questions? No. No more questions. Okay, thank you very much. May we have the next testifier?
The next testifier is Janona Alcancel, to be followed by Kurt Matsumoto.
We turn for them first.
Can you repeat the next one?
The next testifier is Janona Alcancel, to be followed by Kurt Matsumoto.
Thank you.
Hello.
Aloha, my name is Janona Alcancel, and I lived on Lanai since I was 6 months old, and lived during the plantation days here in Lanai. But Ko'ele is a very dear part of me because my uncles were cowboys up there, so we spent as a family a lot of time up there, horseback riding, enjoying family, enjoying food, laughter, and music, and emu time and all of that. I now work at the Lanai Culture and Heritage Center, and their mission at the center, or our mission at the center, is to honor, perpetuate, and preserve Lanai's rich history, culture and values. And it runs right up this line here with Coeli, because Coeli truly is a big part of our history on Lanai. You know, cattle ranching and sheep and cattle ranching ran for about 100 years here on Lanai, from 1854 up to 1951. So a big part of our history that we want to preserve and protect and share, actually, not only with our community, but also with our hotel guests, and somehow in that area incorporate that to make it like a melting pot of togetherness, you know, for, again, our community and our hotel guests. The houses up there that were Uncle Ernest and Auntie Rebecca and Uncle John and Auntie Hannah's house is very dear to us, definitely. It brings back so many memories and stories and stuff like that, that hopefully in the future that area can be used to share, you know, with not only, again, the hotel guests in that area, but also our community. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, you know, to help to remember that Coeli is a very, very important part of Lanai's history and a part of our life, for my life too. And pretty much that's what I want to say.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Kurt Matsumoto, and he will be followed by Bradford Oshiro.
Aloha Council, Kurt Matsumoto. I'm the President COO of Lulama Lanai, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today, and thank you for everybody who showed up here. I just want to say that, you know, I was going to talk about, kind of recap for you what we're here for, but what I wanted to say was just from my heart personally. This whole initiative was very important to me, because what it is an opportunity for us to take back a lot of entitlements that were handed out 30 years ago. And I think that many years from now, that's going to be a really important part of what happens in this discussion. And I think I don't want that to be forgotten or missed. I don't know about you, but I have never heard of a developer giving back 75% of their entitlements to build residential units. And that's what we're talking about here. So the other thing that I wanted to say is in the responsibilities that I have today, and the same way I felt when I used to work for the previous landowner, the biggest things that would keep me up at night was trying to make sure that these businesses would be a going concern. And for Coeli, in its first iteration, it was not. And I think I shared that with the council the first time I testified in the first reading. And, you know, in this second iteration, we've had a few years now. It started right after it was supposed to open and the pandemic hit. We've had a few years to separate ourselves from that now, and it is starting to get traction. And I can see the opportunity for that business to become a going concern. And so the opportunity to add to it, not double the size, not create another big building, but to enhance the thing that became very popular, which is the hollies and the treatments. And that is something that is really important to me. And that's all wrapped together in the whole picture here. Now, in the first reading testimony that we gave, there was discussion about us moving the homes. And, you know, I honestly thought that it was going to be a good place to take it across the street. And in my view, it was. it was part of keeping that ranch experience.
Could you conclude the testimony, please?
It would keep that ranch heritage together. But I heard the testimony, I heard the concerns from the first reading, and we actually developed plans on how we could, if we're given permission to expand the property into the 11 acres, but keep the homes there, keep the homes on that side of the highway. But we would still relocate them, but honor them in a way that everybody here is bringing up and sharing their manao about. And we would turn it into a museum. We would turn it into a place of that the community can enjoy. And this would be the only place that we would have that remembrance of that era of ranching on Lanai. So if you would allow us to do that, I would appreciate the opportunity.
We'll take some questions now. I see Member Cook's hand up.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me? I know you guys can. Thank you, sir. So my clarifying question is that is part of the original offer, or is this something that is being proposed now?
This is something that we amended after listening to the concerns that were raised at the first reading.
And that was, the first preference was what your recommendation was to move it across the street.
Right.
And people weren't excited about that.
Right.
It was more leaving. What are the consequences of leaving it where it is to the development as you have planned?
So as I brought up in the first reading meeting, the idea of leaving it there and allowing the resort to grow around it is really not tenable. I don't think it's good for the homes. I don't think it's good for the use of the homes. And I think that it would not allow us to develop that area and expand the resort in a sensible manner. So that is why we hear the community, we hear the concerns, and want to try to find a way to do the compromise. And we want to keep it on that side, but we still think it's important to shift the location, and we will make sure that it is positioned so it can be honored appropriately.
Any more questions, members? Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Matsumoto. I had a couple clarifying questions. The first clarifying question is, if you move it across the street, is that area still known as Ko'ele?
So I think in a lot of people's minds that no, because that used to be a pineapple field, at least when I was growing up. But today it is the stables at Ko'ele. Now, when there was a ranch operation here, that side of the highway, there was corrals and cattle, and there was cowboy activity on that side of the highway. But like I said, it's not critical for us to move it across the highway. We're fine with leaving it in that vicinity.
Last clarifying question. Since you said that this is something that you guys thought up of after first reading, do you support recommitting it to discuss your compromise?
No, I think the process has to continue.
So you're saying you want us to do committee work on the council floor at second reading?
Well, I think that would be appropriate. We already passed the first reading.
During budget? Okay, thank you, Chair. You really want to work us hard, huh?
Member Sugimura.
Thank you. Nice to see you here. And I was going to mention, it really matters being born and raised on Lanai, because I know both you and Colbert. So thank you very much. I guess I'm hearing that you heard the community and you're making adjustments based on it, correct?
Correct.
And I think you also heard the community about it being used for its place. And by making it a museum, then people can come and enjoy it. And whatever, it could be historically used, talk story or whatever. I'm sure there can be, wonderful programs. So it is going to be open to the community.
Yes, it would be, and staffed by residents, and who knows, maybe even staffed by someone who's a descendant of the family.
That's beautiful. And so appreciate that, and I hear you. Thank you.
Member Cook?
Thank you. What's the condition of the home and what would it entail? I'm just curious, it's like if it's been moved twice, moving it again, and would that be something that would be a community endeavor after the company moves it? And then it's because it's a really big change, and I'm just curious how the functionality of that would be. And I'm concerned appeasing the thought and the desire, but not really having the substance of the structure being a condition. And I'm just curious, I mean, I've been involved in moving houses before, moving it twice, moving it over there. It's been, how practical is that?
Member Cook?
No, it's a big endeavor.
Excuse me, Mr. Matsumoto. The questions should be clarifying questions, so can you
I apologize.
Can you keep that in mind when you answer? Yeah. When you answer the
clarifying question is how practical is it to move the house? Or to recondition the house?
Yeah, thank you, Council Member. So that house is currently being used, and the condition of the house is,
Cam, bring your stick upstairs. What you doing?
is fair at best. And the house has been modified over the years. We would do the best we can to try to move it. The location that we would move it to is not that far away from where it is currently positioned. So I think there would be a good opportunity to move it intact. We have people here still who have experience moving old plantation homes. So we would put that knowledge to use. And we would be the one responsible for moving it. We would be the responsible party to refurbish it, turn it into a museum, and try to bring it back to, or honor it as best we can.
Thank you. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair, and mahalo, Mr. Matsumoto, for your testimony today. In your original testimony, I thought I heard you say that you were going to preserve the Richardson houses where they are and not move it. And now you're saying that you're going to move it across the street?
Yeah, so I heard too.
Okay, okay.
No, I didn't say we were going to leave it where it was. We always had the intention to move it. And I think that's one of the things that that I recall you were very concerned about. And at the time, like I said, my thought was to position it as part of what is the Coeli Stables operation today. But I'm here today to say that doesn't have to be the plan. We can leave it in the same vicinity where the houses are today, not that far away. We would move it, but not that far away from where it is today.
Okay, mahalo for that clarification. So what you're saying now, which was different than when we first considered the bill, what was that bill? 23, Bill 23 last August, was that you weren't going to move it, and now you're saying that you're going to move it. How far? Like, what is the distance from where it's like currently located?
So, council member, we always said we were going to move it in our testimony. We never said we were going to leave it where it is. And like I said, that triggered you and you were upset about that. As far as the distance, I don't have the figures in my head. It's 600 feet.
Mahalo for that distance. And then, so I wanted to clarify the process. So what you're saying is this is a new commitment to relocating it 600 feet from its location now. And that with this Bill 3 attempts to ratify the Bill 23 that was passed before we had this public hearing. So Member Paulton had asked about recommitting it, but this is a new bill, so it's not recommitting it. It would actually just be sent to committee. But we could do, as Member Paulton said, committee work on the council floor to add language that would memorialize that commitment into this document, because the document right now does not commit to that, right?
You're asking me about procedure. I'm
exhibit.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. Okay. What she's doing, Mr. Matsumoto, is she's volunteering me to take care of something on the floor of the council. But anyway, it's a procedural matter that shouldn't be fleshed out at this time. Okay.
Well, it was just because Member Paulton had stated recommitting, and because this is a totally abnormal process that we're doing right now, is why I'm trying to clarify what the procedure would be. But in this Exhibit B on Bill 3, it doesn't reflect what Mr. Matsumoto is stating. This is new information. And so that's why I'm asking if this information, to confirm that this information is not on here and that we would have to memorialize it in it when it does come to council.
Right, yes. And it is a little complicated. And we'll take some maneuvering, actually, well, not maneuvering in a bad way, but it'll take the staff getting together and figuring this out procedurally. And this is not quite the time to do it, is my point. Okay? Any more clarifying questions? If not, thank you very much. May we have the next testifier?
Chair, I'm really sorry, but I accidentally skipped over Melvin Catiel. So if we could just take him next, and then we'll call up Bradford Oshiro.
Okay.
Yeah, hello, my name is Melvin Catiel. I was born and raised here. I had two families who live up Coeli. My auntie, Rebecca Richardson, and Bill Kwan, William Kwan, who worked for the state along with Richard Morita at that time when they rented the place. I'm against Bill 3 because I had so much family ties up there. I was young, we used to play up there with the Morita family, and my cousins who were living up there, they're in the same age, the Kwan family. And I worked for Coeli Company. I started in 1976, only up to 1990, I quit. I was in the transition when David Murdoch bought the island. We were in charge of doing the grub work. We didn't get a permit for with equipment in there for bulldoze the land for the hotel. So I was put in charge of moving Ernest and Rebecca Richardson because they were my family. They were my auntie. So my boss put in charge to me. Whatever they wanted to move, you have the boys move it. My auntie said, you're gonna have to carry her out of the house. Because she lived there 50 years, and she really loved that house there. So I was put in charge of moving them. And my boss told me they're gonna put them in the two houses there, they're gonna move it. He gave me the permission to put the pin where the house are located. We had one dozer operator and one grader operator. Soon I put the pin there, they cleared the place for the houses to be moved there. So I was in that, I call that Murdoch regime. Now it's Ellison regime. Later on, I don't know, maybe Elon Musk regime, we don't know. See? So I am against the bill. I want the house to stay there. I put that pin there for the house to stay there. I don't want to see them move. They said, we cannot see up on the road. Yeah, because they don't clean in front there. It's all overgrown. And it's private land. It's Polama's land. Why don't they clean it? We cannot go here. You just sign private property, keep out. So that makes sense. I don't beat around the bush. I tell you guys straight. You know what I mean? And I hate this kind of virtual meeting. You guys should come over. This is sensitive stuff. You know what I mean? I got hard hearing, computer. I'm old school. You know what I mean? Yeah? That's why I tell you guys, I don't beat around. If I have to tell you guys off, I'll tell you guys off. I don't hold back. That's the person I am. Because I get so much love in the place up there. My heart is up there. And you get the developers, but building this place for the rich people. What about the landed people who got ties up there?
Time.
So I hope you guys wake up. Yeah, I hope you guys wake up and think before you can make the decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Katia. Oh, wait, we have a question. Member Paulton?
No. Sorry, I couldn't find the button.
I have a question for you. Somebody asked you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Katia. At the time when you were saying that it got moved there and all the kids were allowed to play over there, who was the owner at that time?
That time was the whole company. They used to own the place up there. Before the company started. Yeah.
And then Murdoch moved it to where it is?
Murdoch purchased the land from Doe.
Okay.
The company wanted to build in 1977, but I guess they didn't get the approval. So they started going downhill.
So then when it was at the place where it is right now and all the kids was playing on it, it was Murdoch.
Not right there, where the hotel is. The houses where the hotel is beaten up. Since we move it because they were going to demolish my auntie's house, and she said she don't want to move if she cannot live up there. At Coeli, she didn't want to move down to the town, the city. So they compromised. They said, okay, we're going to move these two houses there, and the two Richardson family can live in there to live out their life up there. So that's how it was arranged. So I was given the opportunity to put the pin where the two houses are located. My boss gave me that because of my two aunties who live up there, but one of my aunties moved to Coeli because they were working for the state. But my elderly auntie, who lived there 50 years, stayed up there, wanted to stay up there, along with the other Richardson family.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Katia.
I hope you guys come here because I don't like this kind of video. I tell you guys I'm old school. Come over. Man to man, face to face, like throw this thing away.
Yeah, too bad they made it for the night before Ho'omalu.
Maybe we could have the next testifier, Ms. Clerk?
Chair, the next testifier is Bradford Oshiro, to be followed by Malia Preza.
Hello, and thank you for taking time to listen to our community speak. I was born and raised here in Lanai. Did a lot of playing with my cousin Melvin over there, up at the ranch. Right now, we cannot even go on the property that we used to play on. Okay? The ranch to us was it's the last Paniolas on Lanai. They were the original, the two Richardsons, both uncles. They were the original Paniolas. What is happening now is those two houses are the only thing left on Lanai that resembles any Paniolas here on Lanai. Because there's no more. And Murdoch, Ulama, they all kind of destroyed it. The thing is, we cannot even enter the property. So like my cousin said, we cannot even go and cut the trees down so that people can see the houses up there, you know? Plus two, there's a Hawaiian graveyard, not 200 yards up above the house. So if anybody to bring it up, I mean, I don't feel that they should build there because of those graveyards up there. Because how are you going to prevent the tourists from going and exploring and going and trespassing on those Hawaiian graveyards? Well, you know, that's all I got to say. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you know, I last sat on the Land Commission on Lanai for 10 years. And what we're doing here, or I testified a couple of times on Zoom and I didn't like it. You have no connection with the people, not at all. Not with the community, so, you know, if you can bring it back to Lanai, be nice, because I didn't even know about this meeting until my cousin told me about it. Okay, thank you very much.
Any questions, members? Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo, Mr. Oshiro, for your testimony.
You got to speak up because I'm on both sides hard to hear you. Sorry.
Mahalo, Mr. Oshiro, for your testimony. My clarifying question is regarding the memories that you spoke to. When you say that the memories of the Richardson house is important when you played with your cousin Mel in that area, it's not just about did you mean it's just about the structure or where the structure is located?
We went into their houses, the both Richardson, you know, Auntie Rebecca used to make us Hawaiian pancake. I always ask my cousins, two of them passed away already, okay? I asked them, anybody know how Auntie used to make your mom used to make the pancake? Nobody knows. See, things like that, history, unless you cater and take care of it, it disappears. And that's what I'm really worried about, those two houses, because that's the only thing that people will, maybe my generation remember the Paniolos, but you know, if you put a museum up there, take care of the property, people will go and visit, you know, and then young people will go, because right now people, they can't see the houses, so they just drive by.
Mahalo.
I'm done.
Chair.
Sorry, Member Cook.
Thank you. I can talk to you right here. Thank you, sir. What is your feeling about moving? What is your feeling about moving the homes and making the effort to actually have people who bring their manaho and memories and make it a museum that people is accessible and that enables the development to continue, but enables this to also be recognized, prioritized, memorialized?
I feel that, you know, they should stay where they are. Okay. It's just that Mr. Murdoch owns, not Mr. Murdoch, but Mr. Ellison owns 98.8% of this island. So we as a community, we really don't have anything to say. Because when they built Hokuau down there, they said they were going to sell some of the properties. I was sitting on the Land Commission when they did that. They said they was going to sell. Now it's all rental. nothing's gonna be sold. So I don't know if I can believe the owner, you know? So I really don't want it to be moved.
Thank you for your answer.
And thank you.
Any more questions? If not, thank you very much. May we have the next testifier, please?
Chair, the next testifier is Malia Preza, to be followed by Martha Evans.
Aloha, my name is Malia, and I grew up on Lanai. My family has deep roots there. My parents and grandparents were all born and raised on the island. I am opposed to the rezoning of the Ko'ole Project District, which would allow further commercial development near the Sansei Resort and could result in relocating 2 historic homes. As a child, many of my favorite memories were made driving around Lanai with my family, whether going over Lanai Hale or visiting Keomoku. We always passed those 2 homes nestled at the base of the mountain, surrounded by open fields. To me, those homes are a symbol of Lanai's history, a tangible connection to our past. They remind us of the people who stood up to protect our kupuna and their home. You don't have to have family ties or to understand the significance of these homes. Their presence, unchanged over my lifetime, give me a deep sense of place. When I see them, I know exactly where I am. I know that I am home on Lanai. It's a feeling that I would like my 9-month-old daughter, Ko'ele, to experience as well. She is actually named after this special place. While I've enjoyed memories at the Sansei Resort, formerly the Lodge at Ko'ele, I am concerned about its expansion. Not only will it change the landscape, but it could also limit access for our community. My daughter, who can't visit the resort because it's adults only, may not be welcome in a place that shares her name. Relocating these homes sends the wrong message. It tells us that the history and heritage of Lanai's people matter less than corporate interests. Expanding the resort at the expense of these homes would make us feel like we no longer belong there, like someone came into your home and rearranged the furniture without your permission. Just because the homes were moved once doesn't mean it was right. I don't believe they should be displaced again for more luxury amenities. I urge the council to prioritize preserving Lanai's cultural heritage over potential for economic gain. Let's do the right thing, protect these irreplaceable landmarks for future generations. Please reconsider revoting to reject Bill 3 or establish a condition to prevent moving the houses and find a solution that honors the history and integrity of Ko'ole. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions, members? If not, thank you very much. Ms. Clerk.
Chair, the next testifier is Martha Evans, to be followed by Dr. Keiki Pua-Denso.
Hello. Mrs. Evans. Can somebody help you unmute your microphone?
On the upper right side, there's a microphone button. You can press that so that there's no line through the microphone. And I gotta disclose the second minor is here and the adult male, George Vera.
Member Rollins Fernandez, is Mrs. Evans at the district office or at her home? Or you can hear me?
Steph, what's the button you push to unmute?
It's at the top.
No, but somebody must be there right by her.
There's a microphone button on the upper right side. Oh, what is the, maybe can she call in? What is the call-in number?
Ms. Clark, can you provide the?
Sure, it's
provide the call-in number.
Yes, and then I'll
You can
also
put it in the chat, but also tell her.
Okay, the phone is 808-977-5842. 4067, and then it'll prompt you to enter a code, and the code is 234-794-55, and then the pound sign, the hashtag, and that will let you into the meeting. And we'll keep a lookout for you.
I don't think she had time to write down all those numbers.
I can repeat it again. So the phone number.
Yeah, can you repeat it for her?
Sure.
Repeat it for her.
Yeah, phone number 808-977-4067. And then a recording will come on. It'll tell you to enter the code. And the code is 234-794-559. And then you press the pound sign.
Seems like she can hear you.
Can the clerk send me the?
It's not the same thing.
She called. You called, Joe?
Is anybody talking about?
Aloha. Aloha.
Aloha, my name is Martha Ann Evans. The bog has gotten to me, and my voice is really froggy. I will try to get through this. Although I reside in Honolulu, my children and I still own our family home and have ancestral ties to Lanai and Maui Nui Akama. I lived on Lanai from 1976 through 2010 and was employed at the school as a teacher and school administrator. More importantly, I was a community member and part of Lanaians for Sensible Growth, the grassroots organization that continues to advocate for the kupuaina of Lanai and our homeland of Hawaii. By way of this testimony, I offer my opposition regarding Bill 3. I really feel that this is yet another way for the current owner to exert their influence at the state and county level for their benefit. And I understand he is a businessman. He runs a business, and it's important for both his ability to do what he does, as well as for the economy of the community. However, the close-knit rural community of Lanai continues to be forever changed and its history summarily erased. The rich history and traditions of Lanai and of the people whose blood, sweat, and tears ensured the transition from pre-contact to ranch to plantation and now resort will be replaced by what I see happen in Lahaina. Luxury mansions with lush gardens, pools, tennis courts, and additional resort amenities. The changes will erase the history of proud and humble people, Native Hawaiians, Filipinos, Japanese, Koreans, Portuguese, and other instruments who made our island what it was, a welcoming place for all to live and work in harmony for the good of the community. Fast forward to today, and that camaraderie, that community that welcomed and embraced all who came is no longer. You know, many years ago, they took Holopoi and forever changed that landscape with the resort, golf course, and luxury homes. This change to the community plan will allow them to erase the history of Ko'eli and all we hold dear about the ranch community. They do not know the Ko'eli that existed before they used their wealth to purchase the island and change its landscape. They do not hear the voices of the kupuna who still inhabit the ranch. They are there. Their spirit was there. I urge you to please, please, please stop changing the landscape of this island. Those homes have already been moved. I lived in one of them before the hotel was built. And then that home became Tutu Hannah and Uncle John's home. And the other home, which was the post office, became Tutu Rebecca's home because Mr. Murdoch, who promised her that he was not going to destroy her house, destroyed it. And the only way for that
Can you please conclude your testimony?
Right. And the only way for that to not happen was for him to move those houses. Okay, so I just want to ask you to please really consider redoing this after you have heard the comments of the Kupu'aina, the people of Lanai, because it is their home. Mahalo.
Thank you. Are there any questions, members? Member Paulton and then Member Rollins Fernandez.
So I just wanted to clarify, you want it to be taken back to committee before second reading?
That is correct. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo for your testimony, Ms. Evan. I just wanted to clarify because I think I never heard it before. There was a commitment by the former landowner to the community to keep the houses where it's located now after. Oh, okay, please clarify.
No. The commitment, the first commitment was by Mr. Murdoch to Tutu Rebecca at the old senior citizen center that she would be able to continue living in her home. And I remember she and Uncle Ernest walking out of that community center and senior center and shaking Mr. Murdoch's hand. And Uncle Ernest said, his hand, I shook his hand. It's a gentleman's agreement. So from the very beginning, those things did not happen. With regard to the houses moving, the houses were moved. I lived in the ranch, what was the office. And then when they built Ko'ele, they moved those two homes. When they built the lodge at Ko'ele, they moved those two homes. So Auntie Rebecca was in the post office, which was in front of my home. And then that old ranch office, they moved that also for Auntie Hannah. Remember that the old schoolhouse was Auntie Hannah's original home, from what I remember. So there have been lots of moves. I just ask for your consideration to please help the people of Lanai to hold on to the few things that they have left, the memory of Ko'ele and the spirit of Ko'ele that lives with those people who inhabited that area. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any more questions? If not, thank you very much. May we have the next testifier, please?
Chair, the next testifier is Dr. Keiki Denzel, and to be followed by Stanley Ruidas.
Aloha, Chair Lee.
Aloha.
Members of the council, those of that journey to Lanai, mahalo for making the journey. For those that didn't join us, we'll see you at budget hearings in a couple of weeks. So I just wanted to summarize some of the things that happened since the last time we were before you. When you guys approved the ordinance back in September, we did hear from, we did listen, and during that time, we had our consultant who is archaeologist, that's a licensed archaeologist that does these types of assessments. And she participated and she talked through the state's process of understanding when something is significant and has integrity. And because the homes were moved twice, they lost integrity of location. We completely understand there's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories and connections that way. So at the hearings, we did say that we would work with the community and identify a location that would be amenable. And that's what was decided the last time. So I just wanted to put that clarifying point forward. We have since not just engaged Dr. Watson from Honua Consultant, but we also engage Mason, who does architectural assessments. And they have helped us with identifying and how to preserve and relocate 3 other homes that were part of the original homes that were built. They're on Lanai Avenue. And those homes were restored and preserved. And we believe that we can do something very similar to these homes and honor the place and honor the homes, put them to a condition in which they can be enjoyed. The legacy of the ranch can be enjoyed at those homes. It's relocating them on the same side of the road, Malka, just about 500-600 feet away, just not next to where the hotel is now, because it's logical to have that area as part of the hotel expansion. We want to work with the community. We've always said we wanted to work with the community. During the multiple hearings that we had on Lanai, during the Lanai Planning Commission and for the environment assessment, we did not hear this opposition. It was only when we started having the council hearings that we had the 2 people testify and the several people submit written testimony. Today, there's many people here, there's people calling in, and there's a lot of people that wrote in. So we are listening and we want to work with the community. But as Mr. Matsumoto said, people aren't used to developers doing what we're doing. We're giving up a lot of the zoning. A lot of the resort residential is going away. The golf course is going away. It's going to park and open space. So a lot of that is more open space, less congestion, less second homes. So I just wanted to provide some clarifying points, and I'm here for questions.
Okay, thank you. Members, are there any questions? Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Dr. Danso, for your testimony. I just wanted to clarify when you said that when they had the Planning Commission meetings regarding this item on Lanai and there wasn't this kind of testimony, did you know why? Was it because not everybody knew about it?
No, we do the same type of outreach. It was posted. It was 3 times. So we had 3 meetings for the item to be heard on this matter. That's not including the Lanai Planning Commission, in which there was the public hearing for the environmental assessment. So we actually were before the Lanai Planning Commission and the community multiple times. And these commission meetings were 3-4 hours long. And same type of community notification, postings everywhere, talking to our employees. We even had community meetings, not part of the Lanai Planning Commission.
I just am trying to clarify then, why is it different that all the people that came out now, was it more like not regarding the posting but word of mouth, or you don't know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, got it. Thank you.
Member Rollins Fernandez, did you have your hand up?
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo for your testimony, Dr. Danso. So you said after hearing from the community, when Bill 23 was being taken up last year, that you heard the concern about the Richardson House, because there wasn't really opposition to the community plan amendment or the district boundary amendment, which was the 2 pieces of legislation. But when folks were asking about preserving the Richardson houses, there wasn't really a plan to preserve in place or to preserve it. But you're saying that you have since worked with the community. Broadly, because we received a lot of written testimony, and then a lot of folks came here in person. And so the implication, what's being implied is that there was resolution, but it doesn't seem like there's resolution.
I apologize if I implied that there was resolution. So what I was saying is at the last meeting that when we were before you, it was the project district amendment, the community plan amendment, and the change in zoning. All three were being scheduled, but we were only making decision-making on the community plan amendment, sorry. And during those discussions, we had said that we were considering moving, as Mr. Matsu said, across the street near the ranch so that it would be near ranching type of activities. And it seemed as if the testifiers did not want that. And so this is an opportunity it's a compromise. It's not across the street near the ranch. It's still in the Ko'ela area. It's still in that rural area. It's about 500-600 feet from that area. It's still on the Malka side. It's just not in that 11.5 acres.
Mahalo for that clarification. And so the compromise to 600 feet, was that discussed with the community, and was there more support for that compromise?
No, we haven't taken this to the community because this is just part of public hearing, and we have many more steps to go. And so we still have to go to district boundary amendment. So there's still time to talk. This is the first time we even mentioned that, as we thought we wanted to mention it so that it wasn't just in people's head that it was going to cross the street. We read all the written testimony. 3 people live on Lanai. 8 people had ties to Lanai. The rest of them had no ties. It was just a cut and paste from people that were submitting testimony. So we read it all to make sure we understood and looked at who wrote the testimony and took that into concern.
Okay, mahalo for that clarification. And in reviewing the testimony, it sounds like there's support for the community as a lahui because of how much displacement Kanaka have experienced throughout our history. So, just acknowledging that it's a shared pain that a lot of Kanaka feel, which is what was expressed. So I understand Lanai residents, but I also saw how much ohana there was that submitted written testimony. So mahalo for that. Mahalo for your testimony.
Any more questions, clarifying questions? If not, thank you very much. May we have the next testifier?
Mahalo.
Thank you, Chair. Currently, the last testifier is Stanley Rubides.
This one or that one? Which one I look at? This one? Oh, okay.
Hi, Stanley.
Hello, Shirley. Good evening. Thank you for having us have this meeting tonight. But, I wish that everything Lanai would be on Lanai that concerns Lanai, and not this kind of telecommunication problems that we're having right now. But anyway, so Stan Ruiz, a lifetime resident of Lanai. I remember on the original ranch, taking horses and riding horses. And on the second ranch, spent many years over there. So my thing is, if can, if no can, no can. So with that said, I support, I oppose, if at all, I oppose this bill if the Richardson's houses can be left in the same area. But I also support this bill if we can come to a compromise and move the residential houses to Malka, which is north of where it is right now, on the hill, and it's between the cell towers and the road. You can have a best view of on sunset. And that's what Ko'ela is, beautiful sunsets. So with that said, that's my testimony tonight, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Do we have questions for the testifier? If not, thank you again. Mahalo.
Chair, we had another testifier sign up, Chucky Claraball.
Again? Oh, I see him.
Let's see, 3 minutes, huh? Let's go. All right, mahalo everybody for coming out and looking at this one. Okay, cool, and listening to us here on the night. Yeah, you guys should come over here and talk face to face. You know, I don't like this kind of computer stuff too. But anyway, I'm opposing this zoning change. You know, and everybody's talking about moving the houses. Well, I'm more concerned about, I'm concerned about the houses. You know, I'm from here, my family's from here. Grandparents lived and died here, buried here. Great-grandparents lived and died here, buried here. I got connection. All right, it's more about the 11 acres. How is this gonna affect, like Uncle Brad had said, the cemetery that's just behind the houses? You know, you set the zoning change, there'll set a precedence everywhere else, okay? If that cemetery is in this 11 acres, it's not, okay? But if you change this zoning change, it can change another one, all right? Iwi Kupuna up there, we're gonna move them. There might be a possibility they want to, right? We cannot do that. This is cultural displacement, is what this is. Slowly pushing the culture of Lanai out. All this old people who know all this history of Mo'olelo. And you know what, we're not gonna share everything with you guys. You know? Indigenous intellectual property. It's like telling somebody where I always go hunt and telling them, yeah, go over there. That's where they're gonna be. Next thing you know, everybody's there. You know, we're not gonna share all that information. And I'm just being honest about that. Okay? There's a lot of things you need to start asking over there. Change one place, then change another. And that's how it is everywhere around the world. You know? But the thing is, how come I gotta go travel outside of the country to go see storied places that is still in the same place? These Americans and stuff, you know, business people in America like to move stuff, you know, change the landscape, bring in their ideas. We gotta, 48 seconds. You know what? I get it. This is Uncle Larry's Island. But we have a responsibility to the people here. All right? We can't just let things slide. Plenty Kanaka over here. There's plenty cultural practitioners here also that they cannot access cultural rights. Like Uncle Brad was saying, they can't even go up to where they used to play when they were kids. Yeah, they moved the houses from where it was totally over there. Okay, and developers might think, oh, that's insignificant, one house. Why they never moved the big tree? That's insignificant. The pine tree right in front. Yeah? Oh, I'm done.
Time.
So, yeah, so I oppose this bill to change zoning because I believe it's cultural displacement. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, members? If not, thank you very much. May we have the next testifier?
Chair, currently we have no one signed up to testify. If there is anyone online wishing to testify, please raise your hand in Teams. If there are any others at the Lanai District Office, please go ahead and let us know.
Kalamai. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. I was hoping to testify.
What is your name? Okay.
My name is Samson John Kalealohi Omana O'Io Aki. I am a descendant of a Paniolo Wahine, who is Milani Aki, who was a descendant of Grand Marshal Paniolo Kane, who was Henry Kawaki. All my ohana live and die here on this island, both sides, mother and father. Spent a lot of time in Palawai Basin, all the way up to Ko'ele. Isn't stomach 3 minutes. I love my home island, Lanai, with all my heart. I'm a Lanai cultural advisor that includes Ko'ele and the Richardson family with multiple aspects as historical and agricultural educational references. I used to tell a story of how Uncle Ernest used to pa'akai the barrels to store the pipi. I tell of the Iholani Mai'a, the banana that was only found in that Kaiholena Gulch, which Sensei sits at the foot of. One of the areas we would frequently visit were the Richardson homes, where I spent many times up there prepping the Pa'u riders that we would hold annual parades in our community with. We would prep all of the Pa'u riders there. My grandfather, back to the mid-1900s, he was even still a Pa'u rider that we would prep up there in that area. It was also an area of the ranch camp, which is where Paniolo and Cowboy once flourished. And I would have to say that that area is one of the last living places of Paniolo references to the old day here in Lanai. It's a place where many people of many different ethnicities and backgrounds could come together, feel a sense of warmth within the hui of the community. The area has been painted with heva through, and has been exercised through the uhane, the spirits that reside there have disturbed many rooms that reside in Sensei, and up in that area, there are a lot of iwi. I'm not too sure the extent of the acres that this bill is stretching to, but I've heard it goes up to Ninini Vai. Ninini Vai, there's Kihamania, which was one of the first Western-style buildings that were built here on Lanai. Below that is a large number of graves that stretch through the bottom of Cavendish, from what I understand. I feel the future plans will lead further from the aspect of planting the seed today for Akiki to watch it grow tomorrow. With the way that tourism has expanded and started to grow and take roll, it's easy to see that given the open door, future plans could lead to less and less of Lanai. Okay. That's the tree. No. Sorry. There are many heartfelt feelings and emotions invested to this area, as many of you has heard today. A lot of heavy, emotionally tied opinions about the place and factual opinions about the place. It was a place where many of us could go up there to just learn the Paniolo way. We could talk story with Tutu Rebecca, Tutu Hana, and Anakalahas to gain understanding and guidance on how to be better connected and rooted to our home Lanai. The road that their homes live beside is the access road to the Hawaiian Cemetery, and also a back access road to our main cemetery where many of... Okay, I'll start to wrap up. From understanding the point of view of the hotel... My apology. This story plays for the people of the community. One more time. I'm sorry. A possibility of plans could lead to the possible erasing of the value of this Wahipana, this storied place, for the community, opening avenues to transform it into a possible oasis for many of those who couldn't afford it. Instead, our Kiki will never get to go there. Hoping that you could maybe consider implementing it as a culturally significant place that we could share the mo'olelo of the Paniolo time that was prominent here on Lanai for a long period of time, from as far back as the 1800s to this day. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, mahalo. I appreciate your time. Thank you for allowing me to speak. It's my first one.
Good job.
I'm all right.
Okay. We have a question for you, Member Paulton.
Mahalo.
Thank you, Chair. It looked like to me you was reading it, and I was wondering if you would turn that in for the record, if it is that you was reading that.
I would be happy to. Ekalamaya, sorry, it's my first one, so I just wanted to make sure I come prepared.
And then the other question I had was, you mentioned that you were a cultural advisor.
Yeah, I'm a Lanai cultural advisor for the Four Seasons, and I work both at the beach resort as well as Ko'ele and the stables, and that whole area are area that we do use to share with the guests of our history of the island.
And then you're against, you would like this to go back to committee to amend it so the houses don't get moved?
Yes, please. Also to consider possible options that could be other than as Anakala Chucky had mentioned, displacing culturally significant areas. I know agriculturally, archaeological wise, I think one of the other members had mentioned there's no ties, but the place clearly get ties culturally, significantly, emotionally. It's a Wahipana. It's a storied place of Lanai that we've been telling the story of for decades.
Thank you. Mr. Aki. Thank you, Chair.
No, aloha, Council
One more
Member
question.
Rollins.
Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. That was Councilmember Paulton. I'm Councilmember Rollins Fernandez.
Yeah. I was trying to notify for you.
Oh, mahalo. Mahalo for testifying, Mr. Aki, and congratulations on doing the first time. Hope it's not the last time. My question is regarding the MICA that you spoke of. Just to clarify, is that MICA still there? And is there any...
Not to my understanding, but if never have the guy who searched each inch of that valley, I wouldn't say it's not there.
Okay.
It's just but that MICA, the Iholena MICA was a very significant MICA that was one of the only MICA that Wahine could eat in the old days, tied to the old days. And from my understanding, Kaiholena Valley was one of the only places it resided.
Okay, mahalo for that clarification. And then regarding the, you said the access to, or you said the erasure of culture because of the lack of access to place to maintain Pilina. And in order to maintain Pilina, access is important?
Heavily important. Not just to that place in front, but to the place in the back, that whole area. Ko'ele is the epicenter of Lanai. Lanai is the epicenter of Hawaii. How can they come to the epicenter of Hawaii to come to a place, to see a place that they can't access?
Mahalo, Mr. Aki, for clarifying my questions. I was taught that the center of the universe was Molokai, but...
Sorry. From what I understand, it was actually Maui Nui Akeo, which was Maui, Lanai, Molokai, and Kaho'olawe. We were the epicenter. But really, it's in the heart of the people. If I could just read one more thing real quick, my apology. It comes from a oli, a chant that is about Ko'ele. And it states... Aloha ku'uhome o Lanai kie kie, noho ana I ka poli o nā oiwi. Beloved is my home of lofty Lanai, dwelling in the heart of the native sons. This comes from the Mele Le Ko'ele, which was a song that was written for the area.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Akupu, God bless.
Ms. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No one has raised their hand in Teams. We're going to go ahead and give last call for anyone else wishing to testify either online or at the Lanai District Office. Counting down 3, 2, 1. Chair, there's no one else to testify.
Members, any objections to closing public testimony and accepting written testimony?
No objections.
No objections.
No object. Okay, so ordered. Members, we have reached the end of the agenda. So at this time, I am adjourning this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It is approximately 7:01 p.m. Thank you. Yay.